Right. So good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, people in different time zones that you are in. And welcome to Forceark Academy once again. After a long while, we are running like a couple of programs in parallel. So we have the Salesforce Associate program going on in parallel. But today, it's a happy day that we are launching the OmniStudio training program for all of you. And that is where this is the introductory session. And we thought that we'll have a connect with all of you before we actually start the program to let you know that what is OmniStudio all about and what are the aspects that we'll be covering and how the training sessions have been planned to give you the best benefit of it. Okay, so let's get started today, and we'll start with the keynote. And before that, I will just introduce myself a bit. So I'm the founder of Forceark Academy and IntelliCloud Solutions. So at Forceark Academy, we have been training, grooming people from last 2 years and have been grooming about 4,000 plus learners. And we are kind of in collaboration with a few key important marketplaces for the training programs, which we'll be announcing shortly. And with IntelliCloud Solutions, we are doing the consulting implementation work as a Salesforce partner for Salesforce Industries OmniStudio. So we specialize into that, right? So that is a bit about us. Yes, so as I have been addressing in my previous sessions as well, so that is my main aim, that I can provide some community service. So that's why we keep on conducting monthly cohorts, and we wish to grow and learn together. And there is a personal connect that I sincerely feel that we owe to the society, and that's where we try to connect with all of you. So with that keynote, let's move on to what OmniStudio is all about. So guys, I think with the poll that we've been running just before we started. So I guess most of you know that what OmniStudio is all about, but for the people who don't know, let's talk to, or let's get to the place where it actually started from, right? So OmniStudio was actually part of the Vlocity app exchange tool earlier. So it was launched as a Vlocity CPQ tool initially as the app exchange, one of the app exchange products, wherein the prime capabilities were around CPQ and product catalog management and the order management things. However, after Salesforce acquired Vlocity as a as an entity, right? So after that, Salesforce has been generalizing the core data model and the core concepts which Vlocity has been using, and that's from there they have picked up the platform level capabilities and merged them with Salesforce, and now it is available as OmniStudio Elements. So what makes it different from Salesforce components basically is that, the benefits are there listed on the slide, but what is different is what I would like to tell you is that, see, we have a declarative approach and a programmatic approach that we actually talk about while we are working on Salesforce all the time, right? So this is where actually OmniStudio plays a key role, because it does allow us to go for a lot of declarative activities on the system by with the help of OmniScripts, where you can use, or it is kind of what is similar to Salesforce flows, with the help of which you can draw visual screens, you can kind of make I would say, make drag and drop and make the customer journeys out of it with the help of drag and drop features. And at the same time, doing the remote calls or internal calls within the system, right? Similarly, you have the other elements like data raptors, integration procedures, which make your life a lot easier by providing you the UI level access for doing this data level activities. And at the end of it, it will actually be querying the database, but you don't need to write any sort of queries as such, right? It generates the query at the back end. However, what you're trying to do is just a mapping with the help of drag and drop features, right? So that is where OmniStudio plays a key role, and it helps you accelerates the implementations that you're doing rather than coding something or writing directly in the as a piece of query language, right? So it does leverage the Salesforce data model, and OmniStudio you can run independently along as a platform, and separate. It has been basically separated from the Vlocity CPQ elements, right? So that is where the difference between. So now when we say OmniStudio, it is primarily the development elements that you use, which are Flex cards, Data Raptor IPs, and the OmniScripts, and Vlocity, which is basically a top up on this platform, which gives you further data model and further features to do the CPQ and builds like that, right? So OmniStudio is again a base platform language which helps you to with your implementations, accelerates your implementations, right? So a quick look at the architecture, which we will actually go through the course next week in detail as well. So when we say there are 3 layers in this architecture, right? So you have the digital experience layer, which allows the users to interact with the system. There's a service management layer, which actually helps you integrate that digital experience with your downstream data, and with the help of IPs and the data raptors. And then you have the developer experience layer, which helps you move these code from one environment to another and help you build all of these things, right? So we'll have a look at it, but this is primarily the architecture all about, right? Now, there are some examples which I've tried to list down that what are the parallels of the custom tools available in Salesforce versus the OmniStudio tools, and the kind of benefit that it holds, right? So while, say, for example, you're doing a data raptor, right? So it is more of like when you're, it's more of like a wrapper around all the things that you're trying to do with the help of the controllers, the data handlers, and the data raptors and the data wrappers and all, right? Whereas you take a lot of effort in building these elements using the standard Salesforce language. However, with the help of data raptors, you can visually do all of these activities, and by using drag and drop and kind of fetching the fields on the fly, mapping the input output, and be able to query the database and come back, right? Similarly, if you are trying to unit test your code, right? So there are data preview elements available. You can look at the JSON data code as well. So which helps you show that what is the input output which are there, which before even and the preview mode in that, right? So which before even you are actually running the class or running that particular flow, you will be able to see whether you are actually getting the data correctly or not, right? Whether you're getting the responses correctly or not. So these are some of the key things which help you kind of accelerate your implementations and help you develop the things faster and in the easier manner, right? Yeah. So this is something my favorite topic all about, right? So when we are actually talking about any course, so for that matter, like, we need to understand that why you should learn that course, or why how that course will benefit you, right? So if we look at the overall, before even coming here, let's look at the learning path that it gives you, right? So once you are done on the OmniStudio developer course, right? So you understand the concepts well, and then you are kind of, I would say, ready to get into the industries areas. Now, when I say industries areas, so then there are like multiple industries on which Salesforce, the industries CPQ thrives on, right? So you get a way to learn those paths or learn those domain level configurations faster, because now you know the platform, understand the platform. So while if you're, say, working on a communications domain, or you're working on an energy utilities domain, or on the media domain, right? So what comes packaged with industry is, for each of these industries, there are set of data raptors, there are set of OmniScripts which are available to help you give access to the guided journeys to the standard processes followed by these industries. So for you to understand those process libraries which are made available as part of these industries packages, it is important that you know, and you know the OmniStudio developer, right? So that, because that forms the basic of it, right? So if you don't know OmniScripts or data raptors, it will be difficult for you to comprehend, and ultimately you will be learning the elements of OmniStudio itself. So why not start with OmniStudio developer and then move towards these industry packages, right? And having said that, so similar is the certification path as well here. So you can do OmniStudio developer, after that industry CPQ developer and the OmniStudio consultant, which are kind of based on, again, the first thing, the OmniStudio developer, and hence the need for a good course on OmniStudio developer, right? And finally, you can kind of reach out towards doing the accredited professional certifications based on your industry exposure, and that will primarily help you be stamped as an accredited professional in that particular area. So we have these certifications available for communications cloud, for the energy utilities cloud right now, right? So this primarily helps you ultimately get there and establish yourself as a accredited professional in these areas. Okay. Now, why, again, as in why you should be moving on this path is also important to understand, right? So if we look at this Gartner report, right? So if you look at this magic quadrant, we see that Salesforce industry CPQ lies here, which is like on top of it, right? So basically it is highly visionary tool which is there, and it is actually one of the hottest skills in the market, right? So by upskilling yourself in OmniStudio developer course, it actually gives you an outlook, and it actually gives you a different kind of a resume uplift, that your market value increases a lot, right? So that is where this course takes you through entirely. Okay, so now I think let's kind of the best way is actually, yes, to keep doing things and start doing things and get on this track, right? So let's look at that. How do we get on this track? Okay, so this program is will be launched from Monday. So we'll be having our very first session on Monday, and it will be run between 6 to 7 p.m. every day. It will be a 5-day course which will be there, and which will cover all the aspects of OmniStudio, which are primarily your flex cards, data raptors, integration procedures, OmniScripts, and the business rules engines it provides. Like you can have the calculation procedures, matrices covered as part of that, and understanding the developer tools which are available with that, right? So we'll be running 1 hour every day between 6 to 7 p.m. IST. And after that, it will be expected that you guys go back and complete your self-study, which will be roughly about 3 hours per day. There will be one live project that will be running through the program, and that you have to do. And that will cover all the aspects of these topics of OmniStudio. And the best part about this training is, and that is my favorite part, is the last part, which is the hands-on case study, for which we'll follow a different approach, right? So normally, the way trainings are run is that you're given the caselet at the start of the program, and then you are kind of running through it. So what we will be doing here differently is basically that this 5-day course will be an exhaustive course for 1 week. And after that, you get 4 weeks to keep on interacting with us, complete your case study, and we will be running study groups. So what we will be doing is we'll be dividing you in different groups and you will be working on the case study together. And then you come back every week. We will have one session on Thursday, where we'll do the brainstorming, we'll do the discussion along with you to understand the problems that you're facing while doing the case study. And that will kind of give you a different level approach for OmniStudio, where you will be able to understand the actual ground challenges when you try to build a journey journey using the OmniStudio elements, right? So OmniStudio is a versatile tool, right? So guys, you have to understand that since it is that versatile tool, you will be able to learn the concepts. You need to grasp the concepts very well and understand what kind of issues could you face. For example, if we talk about, say, um, an HTTP call out, right? So what could be possible issues with it? So, or if you are kind of trying to interact with the third party system where you are transforming the data for the incoming and the outgoing data types, right? So again, you need to understand that what kind of transformation needs to be done and how do you need to reuse your transform data after, right? And why should you be using integration procedures? What kind of challenges you might face? So whatever you're doing through that case study, it will be taken up very seriously as part of your study groups. And that is where we want to have that certification readiness oriented and your actual hands-on readiness perspective that we will be running this 4 weeks study group after this curriculum is complete in 5 days. Okay. So that is the prime reason that we are keeping the curriculum for 5 days, where you will be able to understand all the concepts, and 4 weeks for applying those concepts and come back to us with the questions, with your ideas around that, how you can implement this, how we can do it. So that will give you an end-to-end feel of that, how you should be designing your how should you be basically designing the entire journey, and with that how you should be kind of placing your data raptors or integration procedures or flex cards so that you get the best optimized output. Okay. And whatever issues you face during this, so we will be discussing those during those study groups. Okay. So you will be able to present, and lastly, we'll be doing a presentation from each of you by running those journeys, whatever you have prepared. Okay. So that is what we will be doing, and that is how we'll be running this course all about. And this course will primarily be actually, I would say, running on the learning management system. So we have our own learning management system on which you will be given the notes and all. So just to show you that how it looks like, I'll just show you. Yeah. So what you need to do is basically you go to Forceark Academy and go to the courses, and from there you will be landing on the OmniStudio developer course, and you can read about the course from here and the high level syllabus here, right? You won't be able to see the data here, but you will just be able to see the note section, that how the notes are kind of placed. So you will be given time to complete these notes and the corresponding assignments while we are running the 5-day course. And after that, we'll be running the study groups. Also, as part of this learning management portal, you will be given access to the communities. So you can constantly post your queries there, constantly ask the questions there, and then we'll be able to guide you through your queries and questions, right? Who will be your trainers? I will be one of the trainers, and I'll have Prithvik with me. So we'll be running the show with this 5-day course plus the study group, and you will have buddies as Renika and Harsh, and they will be constantly supporting you throughout the day for the questions and the queries that you may have, right? So that is more about the platform, the session that we will be doing. And any questions? I'm open to questions now, and I can start answering. So please do not. Sorry. So please do post your questions in the Q&A chat, and we will be answering those questions. So all the details about the course are available on the site. I'll just post the link of that course on the chat, and you will be able to look at the course and the details which are available, and you can sign it up. Okay. Right. Things okay. Fine. Any prerequisites? I think for the prerequisites, there are no as such prerequisites for it, because again, it is a developer oriented course. So you just, if you have an admin or a developer background, that is wonderful and that's good to have. But if not, that doesn't make a difference. You will still be able to grasp it, and will ensure that you will be able to understand all these concepts, right? And All the details about the course are available on the website, so you can go and check it out there, right? Any other questions anyone has? All right. So we are actually very, very excited to start this course from coming Monday. Feel free to register there, and you can also kind of connect to us with the Vlocity cohort, which we have as a WhatsApp group. Please fill out the attendance sheet, which has been posted on the chat, and we'll be able to get in touch with you through that as well, right? So interested folks, please do reach out to us or register yourself through the course directly on the website, and we'll get started from Monday onwards. So Monday, it will be 6 to 7 p.m. IST, and daily 1 hour training session, the live training session by us, and then you will be doing your own tasks, completing the assignments on the LMS, and it's a mix of the regular assignments that we give plus some quizzes. Yes, one thing I forgot to mention is the mock test, which will be happening after we complete ample amount of time, or we give like after 2 or 3 weeks of the study course based on the participants' readiness. So we'll be running through the one mock test which is there. So you will have access to this 5-day course plus the study group of 4 weeks where you solve the live problems and solve the live project.